session. I want to go ahead and just give folks a few more seconds. We have some folks logging in, and technology can never always be easy. So going to give folks just a few more seconds to log in and make sure that you are here. Thank you all so much for being able to join us and spending some time. We are really, really lucky to hear and have you with us tonight. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen as we start this presentation. So just give me one moment. All right, I'm going to ask my panelists to make sure that they give me a thumbs up, make sure that they can see this presentation. That's pretty important. All right. Well, again, welcome. If you are here to learn about how CSU supports first-generation students and that process, you are in the right spot. We are going to go ahead and start with some introductions. My name is David Farid. Like I said, I serve as the Assistant Director of Colorado Recruitment here in the Office of Admissions. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm originally from Colorado Springs, Colorado. I'm going to give it now to one of our panelists, Litzy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. My name is Litzy Duque. I use she, her, ella pronouns, and I'm the Recruitment and Outreach Manager for a learning community on campus called Key Communities, and I'm also a CSU alum.
I also used to supervise Litzy, so fun fact. Angel, take it away.
Hi, everybody. My name is Angel. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the Assistant Director for the Bridge Scholars Program here at CSU. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Now, some of you might be wondering of like, what is Key? What is the Bridge Scholars Program? We're going to get into all of that. But before we go any further, I just wanted to give some general housekeeping notes. So again, one, we're going to be recording this. Two, at the end, I'm going to ask if anyone wants to share their email with me. I can send out the slide deck just because I know sometimes folks prefer that. And then also I want to encourage folks to use the Q&A function. We're going to be answering questions as we go along as best we can. I know that there's going to be a lot of information, so do not worry if you don't get it all. We really want you to know, most importantly, is that you have 3 people here at Colorado State University that you can reach out to for anything that you need. So today we're going to cover 4 things. Admitted student next steps. You all are admitted. That's fantastic. We're going to talk about key communities. Angel's going to talk about Summer Bridge, and then I'm going to close this out talking about some scholarships and financial aid. So without further ado, we're going to talk about next steps for you to be admitted. One thing we're not going to talk about, but is so critical, is for you to take a moment and just celebrate this. I think back to when I was applying to universities, and whew, that was stressful. And so for you to have this accomplishment, I think is such a big deal. And we get so focused on what's next that we don't take time to appreciate this part. Your hard work has gotten you here. And I think that is worthy of consideration. Don't forget to take a moment, even if it's just 10 seconds, to be like, you know what? I've got accepted. I have an opportunity here in front of me. But now, once you've done celebrated, here's what the next steps are. First things first is submitting your enrollment deposit. That's your way of saying, I'm coming to be a CSU RAM. There are 2 things you do. You either confirm and pay the $300, which will reserve your spot in the class, or you confirm and defer. Deferment just means is that $300 then gets rolled into your student bill. And that's really important because if you are someone with financial aid, some of that can cover that piece. There are 2 other options. You can also change your semester start date. So if you're like, you know what, I think I'm going to start spring or maybe summer or the fall of 2025, you are able to do that for a calendar year. Once you've done that and you're saying, I'm coming, there is an online private group for admitted students. It's called WISR, W-I-S-R. This is an opportunity to meet other peers, maybe meet your future roommate or your future nemesis. It all depends, but you should have gotten an email with that link for you to take advantage of. So again, that is called our Admitted Student RAMS community called WISR, W-I-S-R. Students, you really should be checking your email, or for the families who are here, tell your student to check their email. We've sent out plenty of information about this. They should have an email there. Next is applying for on-campus housing. So for the most part, all first-year students are required to live on campus for the first year. And then I would say the majority of students afterwards move off. We guarantee housing for every single first-year student. And Litsy's going to talk about a pretty special opportunity within campus housing. So the housing application is going to open next month. And so what you'll do is you apply for housing, you then get put in a building, and then once we have all those students in one building, we're then going to work on assigning roommates. So again, you'll have access to it via your RAM web. We're probably going to say that a lot, your RAM web. That is our one-stop shop for where you can find everything that you need, including the housing application. But I want to make it really clear that you cannot apply for housing until you have confirmed and deposited. So the housing step is contingent on you submitting your deposit. Now, once you've done that, you're going to sign up for orientation. Orientation is really important. It happens over the summer. This is where you learn about some of our traditions, learn where things are, but most importantly, it's where you register for class. So you'll meet one-on-one with your academic advisor where they can talk with you about what classes you're going to be attending. And if you're participating in Summer Bridge, this might look a little different, and Angel will talk about that. I hope, Angel, I hope I'm not stepping on too much toes. But really, when students are asking me, like, okay, when do I actually pick classes? This happens at orientation. And if you are someone who is doing dual enrollment or a college course or AP or IB, and you're wondering how those credits come over, what you can do is if you've done dual enrollment courses or you've taken your AP or IB exam, bring those scores with you to orientation. That way your academic advisor can see it like, okay, you did this class at FRCC, Front Range Community College, that'll take care of this class. So it's helpful to almost bring like a folder with those documents. Then visit campus. So if you haven't come on tour yet, you've gotta. So our campus is beautiful, but also I graduated in 2013. And so I'm not the best resource for that. I want you to come and see our campus and most importantly, talk with our students. So you have two opportunities. One, we offer daily tours twice a day, Monday through Saturday, year round. But I want to make sure you also know about a pretty cool opportunity. It's called Choose CSU. This is an opportunity just for admitted students where you can spend an entire day with us. There are 4 of them, and they're all on Saturdays. We do have one coming up this coming Saturday. There are still space available, but if you can't, don't worry. The next one, I believe, is going to be coming on February 3rd, and then afterwards, it's the next first Saturdays of the month. So again, opportunities for you to come and explore campus. I can't encourage that enough because it really gives you an opportunity to get a feel for what we're talking about. Now, these next 3 steps really sort of happen over the summer as you get ready to enroll in classes. So I don't want anyone panicking, thinking like, I gotta do this today. There are some students who will have to take what is called a placement exam. I don't want anyone stressing about it. This doesn't impact your admission. This doesn't make us change our decision. All this is doing is getting you in the right classes. So again, on your RAM web, there will be a link called your personal mathematics plan. That's where it'll tell you of do I or do I not have to take a placement exam. The 2 others are a maybe. So you might have to take our composition survey, depending on if you have college classes, you might not. So you might hear that phrase a lot, like it depends, because every student is different. So I don't want anyone being like, I have to take this. You might. And then this foreign language exam. This is only for students who are wanting to take a class in another language. So if you want to take, for example, a Spanish class, they're going to make you take a foreign language placement course to make sure you're in the right class. Then you're going to want to send us your final high school transcript. You're probably like, David, I already did that. That's how I got admitted. You're right. But we'll need a final transcript. This is how we verify that you've graduated high school. Again, this will be due to us by July 15th. So what I tell students is I tell them whoever sent your transcript the first time, whether that's your guidance counselor, your college and career advisor, go to them again and say, I need you to send my final high school transcript to CSU. I promise you, they won't look at you like you've got 3 ears, right? They do this all the time. This is so normal. So just make sure you're on top of that. And then finally, completing your health requirements. So if you have health requirements at many public schools like ours, we do require you to submit those. And so most students bring them to orientation. So I grew up in public schools. I was a public school kid. So I had my immunization record follow me all throughout. So all I did was take that paper and turn it into CSU. Now, I want you to make sure where you can find what you need to do that. Where can you find that? RamWeb. RamWeb, RamWeb, RamWeb. You'll hear that a lot. You can find all of this on your RamWeb. All right, now I know there's probably some questions about financial aid and scholarship, and we will get there, but now I want to turn the mic over to Litzy. So if there are questions, again, put them in the Q&A function, but if you wouldn't mind giving your time and attention to both a colleague and a dear friend, Litzy, take it away.
Thank you so much, David. Hello, everybody. If you joined us a little bit late, my name is Litzy. I'm the Recruitment and Outreach Manager for a learning community on campus called Key Communities. So next slide, please, David.
I got you.
So what is Key Communities? As I said, we are a learning community on campus. We're actually one of the most diverse learning community on campus. So majority of our students are either first generation and or students of color. Now, if you don't know what a learning community is, it's usually a group of students that may have similar interests. Those can end up being academic or non-academic. A few examples are our College of Engineering has a learning community. So that entire residence hall may just be engineering students. Health and Exercise Science also has a learning community, and then Key Communities. Now, those examples that I gave, they're very major specific. Something that I like about Key is that we work with almost all majors with the exception of music, theater, art, and dance. Now, the reason being is because those majors have strenuous curriculums. Now, it's not impossible to be a part of Key and be a part of those majors, but there are a couple conversations that need to be had with your academic advisor, with yourself and us, just to make sure that we're all on the same page and that this is going to be worth it for you during your time here at CSU. Now, our focus within Key is diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice, or DEIJ for short. Now, that doesn't mean that we expect you all to come in with all of this knowledge on DEIJ. We just want to make sure that you all are open to having those conversations. Now, I was a part of Key Communities myself, and that was the reason why I joined, is because we worked with almost all the majors. While you're here at CSU, you're going to be able to meet people within your major throughout the years that you're here. So you'll have plenty of opportunity to do that. Now, the reason I like Key is because I was able to meet people from different majors that I maybe wouldn't have the opportunity to do so the rest of my years. Key Communities is specifically a first-year commitment. You are able to be a part of it the rest of the time that you're here at CSU. That's another program called Key Plus. But for the sake of today, I'm going to focus on our first-year learning communities specifically. Now, this slide shows our different communities within Key Communities. Think of it as sub communities, kind of. So we have our Key Residential Learning Community and our Key General Learning Community. They're actually pretty similar. So both center diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. Both have interdisciplinary clusters, and I'll go into what clusters mean, all of that thing. Both offer mentor connection and community engagement as well. Now, the main difference is going to be where you live. So within the Key Residential Learning Community, you will be a part of our Braden Hall, which is going to be the hall that's assigned to Key Communities. That hall is just reserved for all Key students. That's really nice because then let's say that you want to meet other people, learning communities are great for that. If you're coming to CSU and you don't really know anybody that's coming from the same high school as you, it's a great opportunity to meet other people. Something else that a lot of students like about Braden Hall is that it's the hall that's closest to the main campus. So if you really love your sleep, you can literally wake up 10 minutes before your class starts and still make it on time. So That's really popular for our Key residential learning community. Within our general learning community, let's say that there is already a different hall that's catching your eye. You can still be a part of Key communities and live in that specific hall. Or if you have a housing exemption and have to live off campus, there's still an opportunity for you to be a part of Key. You would just select the Key general learning community for that. Next slide, please, David. Now I'm going to go into the 4 cores of Key. So equity, diversity, key cores, mentor connection, and community, starting with equity and diversity. Next slide, please. Now, I already talked about it a little bit. Our focus is diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. So with that, our goal is to welcome, value, and affirm all diverse identities that walk through our program. Now, we also want to acknowledge that people come with intersecting identities, whether that is sexual orientation, gender, ability status, as a few examples. And we engage in meaningful dialogue. So as I said, we don't expect you students to come in with all the knowledge of diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice. We just want you all to have an open mind and learning more about these topics. You will be in classrooms with people that may have completely different backgrounds than you, or even similar ones as you as well. Next slide, please. And then a Key seminar. So if you decide to be a part of Key communities, you will have to register for a few courses with Key. Now, these all count towards graduation as elective credits for the moment. All students, just like in high school, how you have to take a certain number of math, English, same thing here at CSU. So it's not like you're taking extra classes just to take extra classes. So for the fall semester, you'll be taking a few courses with other Key students, and even a course that may have other students that are not a part of Key. But the nice part about that is that, let's say that you're really sick, or I don't know, there's a concert that you went to, so you can't make it to class the next day. You automatically know all those other Key students that are in that class with you, so you can ask them about what you missed, notes, maybe you need to form a study group, anything like that. So that's some perks about taking courses within Key. And then in the spring semester, you will enroll in a 1-credit 8-week seminar course as well. Next slide, please. Mentor connection. This is probably one of the most popular things we hear our like current or past Key students say that it's most memorable about Key. It's going to be that mentor. So every single Key student gets a current student mentor. So this student already went through their first year. They're either in their 2nd, 3rd, 4th, maybe 5th year here at CSU. They are here to guide you all through your first year. You do meet with them 3 times a semester. That first time is going to be just getting to know you. What are your goals? What do you want to do while you're here at CSU? Second one, maybe a check-in. Do you need anything? Do you need to be connected with any resources? Some students become really close with our mentors, and whether that's like going to get some coffee, or maybe you need a study buddy, they are there for you. So they do engage in activities, and they do plan events for you all throughout the year as well. Some popular ones are going to be like pumpkin painting, movie nights, pizza nights, maybe some study nights, especially right now during finals. A lot of students may need a lot of support within that. So think of them as a guide for your first year. It was really nice because then it feels like you're not alone, that you're not having to navigate your first year alone. Next slide, please. And then last but not least, it's going to be community. So throughout the entire first year, we put on events for you all, so you all can get to meet other students within Key communities. So within Key, depending on what cluster, or that's going to be that course that you end up choosing to be a part of Key, that's going to be like your own little group. Those groups tend to be around 25 to 30 students. So you get pretty close to that group, but Key communities is much bigger than that. We have around 500 students, and these events are perfect because all those groups come together. You get to know one another. And then we even include our Key Plus folks. So you get to know a little bit more of students that are older than you, get to know their experience. Maybe they're in the same major as you. You want to know what you get to look forward to. Those are great connections you get to make while you're here as a first year student. Some popular events that we had just this year is silent disco, that picture on the top left. Students absolutely love that. We have Stuff a Ram, which is kind of like Build-A-Bear, but it's the Ram version. So students wanted a pajama party, something a little bit more closer to home, something more intimate, and we did just that. So we asked you all what you want to do, what do you want to see, and we put that on for you. For example, our closing barbecue, which happens every single year just to celebrate the end of the year for you all. Students wanted something a little bit less crazy, but something special. So we rented out Canvas Stadium. Students were able to get on the field, play some football, and just hang around. There was some really yummy food. So those are things you get to look forward to if you decide to be a part of Key. Next slide, please, David. Now, our submission is open, or our early submission. We don't call it an application because we don't necessarily deny anybody. As long as you're interested in learning more about diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice, you are more than welcome to be a part of our community. So you can scan that QR code, and then we will go ahead and get back to you. If you are already admitted to CSU, you'll have access to that submission of interest right away. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. If you just Google Key Community CSU, and I can see if we can send that link out to you all as well. And I will also put in my personal information too. But you can scan that QR code. You don't have to do it right now. So you have plenty of time. Technically, you can join Key Communities up until like around RAM orientation. And we usually still have a few spots left. So you have a bit of time to see if Key Communities is the right community for you. There is many things that are offered for first year students here at CSU. So please take the time to review all your options and see which ones are the best ones. But you all are more than welcome to reach out to me, and I can answer all kinds of questions for you all. I personally did Key Communities, so please reach out with all those questions. Thank you all so much for your time, and we'll transition on to Angel.
And I just want to say, Litzy, thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm a huge nerd about data. And you all should know that what the data shows is that students who go through the Key Community Program have higher GPAs, have higher graduation rates, right? So this isn't just talk, right? We walk our talk, and this is a very, very good program. All right, another very good program. I've hyped him up enough. Angel, I hope you're ready. Angel, take it away.
Hi, everybody. Angel again, for those that joined us a little bit later, I use he, him pronouns, and I'm the assistant director for the Bridge Scholars Program. I'm doing a very abbreviated version of our typical Bridge info session for you all tonight. I'm going to go ahead. I think this will work. That is, I just put into the chat the website to our to the Bridge program. These are some key folks here in the Bridge program that you will meet. Lucia Delgado, she is the director of the Access Center, and it houses many programs, and Bridge is among one of those programs. I'm the assistant director. I've been doing this work for almost 12 years now, so it's been a while. And Yulisa, she is a graduate student, and she's gone through the Bridge program many, many years ago. And they are helping us out with engagement and recruitment. So if you decide to participate in Bridge, you'll be able to meet them as well. Next one, please. So I want to skip this. This is a video which you can find on our website. So we'll go ahead and move on. And pretty much what that video goes over is what the Bridge program is about. So in a few bullet points here, it's an 8-week residential program here in Fort Collins on our CSU campus here. And it's for first-year students. So I believe all of y'all are going to be first-year students coming to CSU. If you want to get a head start, this is a program for you. You'll take 6 academic credits, which typically translate as 2 classes. You'll receive the partnership award once completing the program, which is $2,500 a year. And you'll be introduced to the different on-campus resources during that time. And what's great is that we'll have near peer mentors. So current college students, many of them who've been through the program themselves, live in and support you through the transition through higher ed to CSU. And one thing that I'll mention too is that and I'm not sure if there's a function here, but there's a lot of excitement that coming to CSU, right? There's a lot of excitement about, maybe leaving home for the first time, going to meet new folks, but there's also some anxiety, maybe some questions, some concerns. One of them may be like paying for college, because that's pretty expensive. It can be. It could also be meeting new people, learning the physical campus. This campus is fairly large, and especially for our folks that are coming from rural areas, Fort Collins can be a big city for some of you all. And this program is really addressing a lot of those concerns. You'll meet with financial aid staff throughout the summer to make sure that everything is in place. You'll meet with professionals from all over campus that you'll be able to lean on throughout your 4 years here at CSU. And more importantly, you've heard this a lot, but community. You build this community of support with your peers and the staff too. And I think that's something that we really pride ourselves in here at CSU, is this building of community. And I think Bridge does a really good job of that. I'm not sure how many first-year students, 5,000 first-year students or so, somewhere around there, maybe a little bit more. That's a lot of students that are showing up in August trying to figure it out. Our Bridge students have already figured this out. They've already been exposed to everything. They know how the dining hall works. They know how the residential halls situation works. They know where the writing center is at and all that. So on top of all that great stuff, this is free. This is completely free to our students. So if you're accepted into the program, your tuition, your books, all the supplies, you'll get a small stipend to the bookstore to get any additional things that you may need. The housing, the meals, and any of the program sponsored activities, that's all taken care of. And you'll also be receiving that partnership award, which is worth $2,500. So let's move on to the next one. So some of the requirements to be eligible, you must be eligible for Colorado in-state tuition. And typically graduating from a Colorado high school, you must be accepted for admission to CSU for fall. You must be committed to attending CSU and completing a degree here at CSU. Many years ago, students were able to go ahead and participate in the Bridge program and then transfer out their fall semester for their first semester. And the university is investing a lot in its students and its Bridge scholars. So we're asking that you commit to graduate from CSU. And we know things happen. You may have a change of major or a different life path that might take you away from CSU, and that's okay. Life happens. We want to make sure that your intention is to graduate here. Priority is given to those who are first-gen students that show financial need, and you'll need to complete the 23-24 FAFSA to complete your application. Your 23-24 FAFSA is its current year's FAFSA right now. It's open right this moment. You will have to do your FAFSA for next year, for fall also. The thing is with summer, this term is considered, or summer is considered part of this current term. So you utilize some financial aid to help offset those costs. Next one, please. All right, the application process. This is new for this year. So if you have any families that have had students go through the Bridge program before, or if you have any campus partners that have sent us Bridge students, the application is different this year. So first, you must apply to CSU and get admitted for fall admission. You must complete your 23-24 FAFSA. And then the Bridge application, you can find it on your Future RAM dashboard, which is on RamWeb. RamWeb. So they'll be on your Future RAM dashboard. It'll kind of look like this. There's a tab there that says opportunities. And if you are flagged as being eligible for the program, if you meet some of those requirements, you'll see the Bridge Scholars Program show up in this opportunities tab. And you'll click that button there to apply to the Bridge Scholars Program. And you will also receive an email inviting you to apply, and it's got more information as well. And if you feel that for whatever reason you should be eligible, you've been accepted, but you're not seeing this opportunity show up on your dashboard, feel free to email me. I'll put my email in here shortly, and then I can manually figure out how to get you that application. So next one,
Angel, you would
please.
just reach out to me, then we can make it happen. So
That too, yeah.
again, y'all, I hope you're hearing that the biggest thing is remember us, right? You can reach out to Litzy. Litzy knows Angel. Angel knows Litzy. Litzy knows me, right? We're here.
Mhm. All right, so once you submit your application, a committee will review all the applicants, and we're looking at the student's ability and perceived effort in completing the application. What does this mean? So, for example, if you write, an essay, it's usually one essay, and you write 2-3 sentences, there's not a lot of context there, we're going to assume that the effort wasn't there in completing the application. We're looking at the express commitment to take on the responsibilities related to being a college student and completing your coursework, an explanation of what you hope to gain as a result of participating in the program. And we're also looking for students who will positively contribute to the Bridge community. Next one, please. All right, so some of the experiences that students have through the Bridge program is that they get to experience the academic rigor of the university in a small supportive environment. So the university, the academics here is a lot different than many of the high schools here in Colorado. A lot of the students are very bright. Our students do typically really well in high school, maybe haven't had to study a whole lot to do well in your classes. At the university, it's a little bit different. There's a lot more effort that goes into your classes in order to get that A or B. And sometimes it's a bit of a rude awakening for some folks. So you get to experience that in a small, supportive environment and with other students who are going through the same thing. You're getting familiar with the physical campus, where all the buildings are at, where are the dining halls, where's the bookstore, all the different things that you need. You'll be able to figure that out prior to everybody showing up in the fall. And you'll meet a lot of great folks that are interested in your success, that want you to succeed here at CSU. We got a lot of folks rooting you on, folks here on this call, the three of us, but then you also meet a lot of other folks that want to support you through your journey here at CSU. And as mentioned before, community, right? You'll be able to build this community. You'll build a network of friends, people you can rely on. Our students say one of the best things about being in Bridge is that fall semester, when there's so many people on campus, they can look across a room or they're going across the plaza and they see somebody that they recognize from Bridge, and it's a friendly, familiar face, and they can go and strike up a conversation with them. And those are one of the, I think, major benefits about being part of the Bridge program. And I think that's it for my slides. So I'll go ahead and pass it on.
Thanks, Angel.
Mhm.
Again, please put questions in the chat. And I know, so Litzy put her info in the chat. I put mine. Angel, if you could put yours in the chat too. Also, could folks let us know that you can see the chat and you can see those emails? Because as fun as it is just typing into the void, I want to make sure that you are actually getting the resources that you need. So let us know that you are able to see when we put things in the chat, like our email. So Litzy also just put in an information about how to join Key. And so, yeah. Angel, real quick, while I have you, got a question. How many people are accepted to the Bridge program?
Good question. So when I first got hired on a while back, we were only serving about 20 students, but the university has seen how important this program is and how successful students are as a result of it. They've given us more resources to serve more students. So the last couple of years, we've served close to 100 students. So last year we had our largest cohort and we had 101 students participate last year. So that's about how many we bring in now. So
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Good question, folks. All right. I'm going to wrap us up here talking about this, the first generation scholarship. So really quick, the first generation scholarship is a scholarship. You don't got to pay that money back. It is $5,000 a year and is renewable up to 5 years. We give out about 75 of these. So it's pretty competitive, but at the same time, it's very possible. So this application is currently open, but I don't want anyone thinking, oh my gosh, now I'm behind. I just got accepted. You're good. The deadline to apply for this is April 1st. Now, it's important that we fill out your FAFSA or your CAFSA, and we'll talk about those on the next slide. That's really important. But really, we're looking for a couple of things, right? You need to be a first-gen student. You need to show your potential for academic success. Oh, I clicked too far. I apologize. You need to demonstrate financial need. And this part's important. You will submit what is called your CSU scholarship application. You do that first, and then you will apply for your first-gen scholarship. Now, as students are thinking about financing college, I think that's really important. I want to emphasize something that Angel said. If you go to Bridge and you get that partnership award of $2,500, you can also get this first-gen award, right? Now we've got $7,500. So I don't want anyone thinking about financing their college education as like, I need one scholarship, then I'm good. It's more like a pie where you get pieces to complete the circle, right? So you could get a partnership award. Then you could get the first-gen award, right? And then we build around that. So again, the first generation scholarship available to students who are on this call, right? Some of you might get that award. That's very possible. All right, now on this next slide, I'm going to talk about some things real quickly. So the FAFSA, again, this is the free application for federal student aid. Now, as Angel mentioned, in order to do Bridge, you have to do the 2023-2024 one. This is going to be for the 2024-2025, this upcoming academic year, the one that you were accepted to. FAFSA has not opened yet. So any families who are there who are thinking, I thought I did this in October, you're right. And I'm so glad someone literally just put that. It's been delayed till December 31st. You're right. So should we wait to send in the scholarship until we can send in the FAFSA? The answer is you don't have a choice. You have to, because you have to fill out the CSU scholarship application and you have to submit your FAFSA. So, right, if you want to think of it as an order, you're going to do your FAFSA first, then you're going to do the CSUSA, and then you're going to do the first-gen scholarship. That can be the most helpful way that you break that down. So the question is, how do I fill out my financial aid? FAFSA, FAFSA.gov. Go to that website and that website only. It is free to complete. And once you do that, then it gets put to our financial aid office and they put together a financial aid package. And that could come with a whole host of things. So I have seen a student get this thing that is called Pell, a Pell grant. That is worth a lot of money, thousands of dollars. That's how you get your financial, or that's one thing you could get. Good question. How do I fill out my financial aid, online or in person? FAFSA is all online. All online. So again, FAFSA.gov. And I want you again to reach out to one of the three of us because we also know people over in the financial aid office. So if you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing, because I certainly didn't, reach out to us. We have staff over in the financial aid office who will be great. So the financial aid, you fill out the FAFSA every single year. You fill out FAFSA every single year for the upcoming academic term. Do we fill out the 23-24 FAFSA still or wait for the 24-25? Such a good question. So again, I want to make sure I'm real clear. If you are wanting to do Summer Bridge, and you should, you fill out the 2023-2024 FAFSA. You will fill out another FAFSA for the 24-25 year. Does that make sense? So Summer Bridge students, if you're coming here in summer of 24 to do the Summer Bridge program, again, you should, you'll do both. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Then on this big orange block, the CSU scholarship application, you access this on your RamWeb. That's where you find scholarships for your major as well. So maybe you're a business student. The College of Business gives out 22 scholarships to freshmen every single year. And so this again is located on, you guessed it, your RamWeb. This is due March 1st. There are some squishy deadlines here in the world of admissions, right? If you don't apply exactly by December 1st, it's okay. Not this one. You cannot miss the CSU scholarship application deadline. And that's particularly important because if you don't fill out your CSUSA, you can't fill out the first gen scholarship. So again, this is really important. So again, I'm just going to repeat the steps because I think that's helpful. First thing, December 31st, you do your FAFSA. Sometime in January, you do your CSUSA. And then you can do the first gen scholarship. Really, really important. And then I want to make sure there are some things here specifically for Colorado students, which is all of you wonderful people. You should know you can apply for free. That's how you got admitted. But this thing here, the CAFSA, this is just specifically for Colorado residents, and only certain students can fill this out. And if you're not one of those students, you'll fill out the FAFSA. So you're probably wondering, David, how do I know which one to fill out? Great question. You fill out the FAFSA if you have a social security number. If you don't, you fill out the CAFSA. But maybe you stumble onto the CAFSA website and you start getting on there, because I have went on this website. There are so many questions that'll be really clear. You answer like 10 or so yes, no's. And then if you answer no to any of those, they'll direct you to the FAFSA. So again, don't worry, but I want to remember and emphasize, because this goes into what Angel said too, you have to fill out a CAFSA or a FAFSA to do both Bridge as well as the first gen scholarship award. And then last but certainly not least, this is called COFF. It's not called the Colorado Opportunity Fund. That's a typo. It's actually called the College Opportunity Fund. This is the easiest thing ever. When you register for classes, it'll ask you, do you want to authorize COFF? COFF is a stipend. It's a discount on tuition only for Colorado residents like y'all. All you do is click a button. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I want to make sure we have opportunities for folks to ask any questions that they have. Because, folks, that's our content. We did that in 43 minutes. Good job, panelists. And so I want to make sure that if there are any questions now, feel free to answer them, put them in the Q&A. But lastly, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Thanks for taking the time. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to be recorded. It is. And we're going to post it on our YouTube channel, CSU Admissions. But I'm also going to email out the PowerPoint slide deck to the student who registered for this. So if you registered, don't worry, just keep an eye on your email, and I'm going to go ahead and send that slide deck. I'll probably get to that tomorrow because I'm going to go have dinner. All right, we got a question, Angel. This is for you. If I'm attending the Summer Bridge program and I fill out the 23-24 FAFSA, can I use that for scholarships, or does it have to be the 24-25?
Good question. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to do both. You're gonna have to do both the 23-24 FAFSA to participate in Bridge. And then if you want any financial aid, which you will for the next academic year, you're gonna have to fill out the FAFSA associated with that academic year, which is the 24-25 FAFSA. So good question.
And I want students to start getting into the mindset that you should be filling out your FAFSA every single year. Every single year you should fill that out. Okay, a couple more questions. Confirming the 23-24 FAFSA form is not available to fill out until 12/31. Incorrect. So the FAFSA for the 23-24 year, Angel, is?
It's open right now. It's for this academic year. Yeah, please go to, and CASPA is as well. So go to the FAFSA.gov website and you'll have access to that 23-24 website. It's for this current academic year. So thanks for asking. I see another question here about Bridge and Key. Yes, you can do both. And actually, once you participate in Bridge, I am pushing you to do Key because Key is so fantastic. And typically, I'll tell you this, some of our Bridge students are like, I don't know if I want to do Key. And then towards the end of the summer, they see all their friends are doing Key and they're all going to live in Braden and they're all excited. They're going to be together again. And then the spots are all filled up. And then they're sad because they got to live someplace else because they weren't on top of their game to fill out the Key interest form. So yes, you can do both. And actually we will encourage you to do other programs as well, like the Academic Advancement Center and other things that are beneficial for our students.
All right, to fill out the first gen scholarship, do we have to do the 2024-25 FAFSA? You do. So again, I'm going to repeat the order. You do the 24-25 FAFSA, and that opens December 31st. Then sometime before March 1st, you do your CSU scholarship application, and then you do the first gen scholarship, right? FAFSA, CSUSA, first gen scholarship, that order. Another question, does CSU offer merit scholarships? We do. So merit scholarships are based off your GPA alone. There's no other further consideration. We are currently in the process of allocating those. We are going to be communicating to all recipients if you've received one. In general, what we tell students is that if you have a 3.8 GPA, we take weighted, you should be eligible. That doesn't mean guarantee, but that means you're going to be in the pool of consideration. And again, that was a 3.8 GPA or higher. For the 23-24 FAFSA, do we use the 2021 taxes? Angel?
Yes. So you have to dig those out from whichever filing cabinet or pile you got there with those taxes. Unfortunately, we use a prior year taxes to fill out our FAFSAs. And since we're asking you to do the 23-24, you got to go back an additional year. So yeah, 21 taxes.
Angel, I'm just going to keep asking you questions about this. And y'all, again, reach out to us. But the question is, can my parents claim me on my taxes this year? Will it affect my FAFSA?
I am not a financial aid expert, but what I will say is that your parents' information is going to affect your financial aid unless you are married, you have kids, you are older than 24.
I think so. Let's reach out to financial aid.
Okay, yeah, okay.
That's
So there's some things that are in the military. Most typical circumstances, your parents are going to have to be involved in filling out the FAFSA, which will affect your financial aid.
awesome.
Mhm.
All right, we're keeping right along. For the first gen scholarship, is the CSUSA independent to the FAFSA, or does the FAFSA have to be submitted first? Great question. Yes, it has to be submitted. So again, FAFSA first, then the CSUSA, then the first gen scholarship. All right, CSUSA opened in October. FAFSA doesn't open until later. Are scholarships approved on a rolling basis? Worried about missing scholarship opportunities? I'm so glad you asked that. No, we are not even going to begin reviewing the CSUSA applications until March 1st. So you have a lot of time. You haven't missed a single thing. You are right on track. And in fact, you're actually ahead because you're here, right? So you are doing exactly what you need to be doing. Angel, is there a deadline to apply for Summer Bridge?
So a good question. We do have a priority deadline, is that what we're calling it? So it is January 31st. So I know that with the delay in the FAFSA this year, it's really squeezed our timelines, especially like for spring semester. So you'll need to apply for FAFSA right away. We'll need to have that information so we can complete your application. But January 31st is where we give students priority space. So if you submit during that time, awesome, we'll review it. If we have space available, we'll continue reviewing applications, which we typically do have space available after the 31st deadline. And we'll keep reviewing them and filling spots until all the spots are filled. So, but if you want to make sure that you are in that initial group to get reviewed, January 31st is the date you want to keep in mind.
Awesome. Another question for you, Angel. For Bridge Scholarship, do we have to fill out the CSUSA?
No. But you're going to want to anyway. But to get into Bridge, no. You do not have to fill out the CSUSA, but we'll make sure that you're doing that while make sure that's completed before you move in the summer, because March 1st is the deadline. So
cool.
Good question.
There's another financial aid question, and I don't want to give wrong information. So I actually put in the chat, we are having a webinar next Wednesday night at 6 Same format here. You can come and ask questions, and then we'll actually have professionals, financial aid pros who are here. So there's a financial aid webinar that is happening next Wednesday. I put the link in the chat. Please, please come. I'm going to have Litzy do some work here now. What if I don't join Key or Bridge?
Ooh, well, I'll let Angel cover the bridge part, but speaking on Key specifically, it truly depends on what kind of experience you want to have. So if you're a first generation student, which if you're a part of this webinar, I'm assuming you are, it's speaking from my experience, I was a first generation student. I had no idea what college was like. I had no idea how college functioned, anything at all. So joining Key was beneficial for me because I had access to all of those resources automatically. I wasn't going in kind of guessing where to go, or if there was a resource that I needed, I wasn't like trying to figure out. Everything's on hand for you. You have professional staff that's there for you. You have your mentor automatically there for you to guide you through your first year. A lot of students that are a part of Key say how grateful they are, or they were to be a part of Key and Bridge, because it helped them be prepared for the rest of the time at CSU. And yeah, I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Angel.
No, not really. I mean, it's a personal choice, especially Bridge. I think Bridge is a big sacrifice. And there's another question here about living on campus for Bridge. So you do have to live on campus. So I will acknowledge that if you decide to participate in Bridge, it does come at a pretty big, I guess, cost or cost or sacrifice. You're saying bye to your family a little bit earlier than you typically would. You're leaving the community that you've called home for so long a little bit earlier than you typically would. And I get that. Families, you may be or you may be part of a family that really relies on you, whether it's taking care of younger siblings, or maybe you're working and contributing to the finances, doing chores around the house, whatever it may be. So when families send off their students to college, I know that it's not just a big transition for the students, it's also a big transition for the family. And we try to include the family as much as possible as well. We do have some workshops and some components for families to help them through this transition as well. So I would say it's a personal choice. I will say that I've never had a student who has regretted participating in Bridge. It's not easy, I'll tell you that. There is a lot of classes that you're taking 2 classes. There's some program requirements. You're busy, you're not bored. And if this is something that you want to do to invest in yourself and your future, there's no reason why you shouldn't. But if you feel like this isn't for you because you're not ready to make those investments in yourself right at that early during the summer, that's okay too. But it's a personal decision, and I respect it either way.
2 more questions for you, Angel. Do Bridge scholars get assigned a dorm in the fall together? And then what day will summer Bridge start?
Yeah, good question. So typically for housing in the fall, kind of depends. So a lot of our students choose to continue, or they make friends and they want to roommate together during the fall, which is great. It's fantastic. A lot of our students do participate in Key. So then they're all those students who have participated in Key will end up rolling over to Braden Hall in the fall. And they love that. Their support network is still intact, and they're adding new folks because there's new students in the mix there, and it just continues to grow their community and their network of support. So there's no like Bridge Hall or anything like that for the fall, but students can make some decisions and take action to ensure that they're living with folks from the Bridge community. And Bridge starts this summer. Oh goodness, it is June 9th is move-in day. It's a Sunday. Students move in, classes start that Monday, and it goes through August 4th. It's 8 weeks, and students are expected to participate in the entire 8-week program. You're taking college classes. We've had questions in the past where students are doing like a senior trip with their family because they just graduated and they're going to be gone for a week and a half in Cancun or something like that. Unfortunately, that's very detrimental to their academic success. And we typically don't advise students to apply if they're planning an extended trip like that during the summer.
Angel, we have a few more. I do want to let folks know we only have about 4 more minutes, so I'm going to have Angel furiously answer these.
Okay.
Angel, what happens if you fail the summer bridge class?
Ooh, it happens. Rarely. But we do have students that struggle in the summer sometimes for lots of different reasons. We do our very best to make sure students don't. We provide a lot of support. There's a lot of tutoring. We're in communication with professors. What's nice about the Bridge program is most of our students do really well, actually, A's and B's. And it creates a nice little buffer in your GPA. So when you start in the fall, and if you stumble a little bit, you've already got a solid GPA. If you do fail a class, typically, I wouldn't say it's super detrimental, but you've got some catching up to do, and we'll support you along that process.
And then Angel, do you see the other two? Can students come
students
home
coming
on
home
weekends?
weekends. Yeah, so most weekends are yours to do what you want. You can go home and work. Typically Friday after our programming or your last class, you can go home. We do ask that you come back on Sunday. We do have typically like a weekly bridge meeting on Sunday nights. And you got to be back for that meeting. But yeah, but if you want to stay on campus, we do have staff that stay on. Our students come from all over the state of Colorado, so going home for them isn't practical all the time. Some of them are living 7-8 hours away, so they stay, and we're here doing things with them throughout the weekend. So, and we encourage students to stay as well.
And then what kind of classes you taking during bridge?
Composition. We want all students to complete composition. Last year we had an in-person math class, Math 120, which is awesome because typically it's virtual. We have an ethnic studies course. We have a bugs, insects, what's it called? Bugs, insects, and society. So all these classes that are being offered go towards graduation, your AUCC requirements. So.
Woo. Awesome. Phenomenal questions, everyone. Thank you to everyone who has been here. I owe a special thank you to Litzy and Angel. Thank you so much for your time. Please, y'all, I hope you see our emails in there. Reach out to us. We want to help. This is a big step, and we're excited to support you along the way. You all are wonderful. Enjoy the rest of your night, and go Rams. Wish our men's basketball team luck tomorrow. 13th ranked in the country, going up to go 8-0. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your night.
Take care, everybody.